So if you've spent, any time at all in the crypto world, you have seen the term HODL. It's kind of part meme, part mantra, but it is so much more than just a funny misspelling. It's actually a window into a really fascinating psychological phenomenon. So what is really going on here? Why would anyone do this?
What is that force that makes someone watch their investment just completely tank, and instead of selling, they actually double down on their belief? It's a question that goes way beyond just money. It's about the deep psychology of holding on to an idea no matter what.
And to really understand that psychology, our story begins, believe it or not, with a simple typo.
Okay, so picture this. It's 2013. A Bitcoin investor is frustrated, probably a few drinks in, and he goes onto a forum to just vent. And in this impassioned, slightly misspelled rant, he types, "I am holding" instead of holding. And with that one little mistake, a legend was born.
What's so wild is how this thing just transformed. It started as an internet joke, right? A meme, but it evolved into a core philosophy, a battle cry you hear every time the market crashes. And for a lot of people, it became a whole belief system for how they invest.
And this belief system, this is where it gets interesting. It creates this powerful internal conflict, a battle that just rages inside every single holder's mind whenever the market gets shaky. It's that timeless battle of logic versus faith.
So on one shoulder, you've got this voice of pure logic, just screaming, sell, cut your losses, protect what you have left. But hodlers, they don't listen to that voice. No, they listen to the voice of faith, which completely reframes the whole situation. See, a market crash isn't danger, it's a test. It's a test of your conviction, a test of your patience, and really a test of your own belief in the whole idea.
So what is happening in our brains to make us choose faith over cold, hard logic? Well, it turns out there are 3 key psychological drivers behind the sheer power of holding on.
The first one, and this is a big one, is a cognitive bias called loss aversion. Now, this isn't just a crypto thing. It is hardwired into every single one of us. The core idea is actually pretty simple. Our emotional reaction to losing something is way more intense than our reaction to gaining that same thing.
So, to put it another way, the psychological sting from losing $100 is roughly twice as powerful as the joy you'd feel from finding $100. Our brains are fundamentally designed to avoid that feeling of loss at all costs.
So, how does the brain avoid that intense pain of loss? Well, it creates this brilliant little loophole. By just not clicking sell, the loss stays unrealized. It's just a number on a screen you see, not a real, concrete failure. In your mind, you haven't actually lost a thing yet.
And with that one little mental trick, the asset itself transforms. That digital wallet stops being just a financial account and becomes something more profound. It becomes a shrine to future potential, a symbol of what might still be.
Okay, driver number 2 is tribal identity. You've got to understand, crypto isn't just about currency. It is a full-blown culture. It has its own unique language, its own inside jokes, and in that world, HODLing becomes this shared ritual of belonging. So to sell, well, that's not just a financial decision. It can feel like you're betraying the entire community, breaking that powerful feeling of we're all in this together.
And finally, there's the irresistible pull of the hero myth. The crypto world is just filled with these legends of people who held on through the absolute worst market crashes and came out the other side as vindicated heroes. HODLers hear these stories, they see themselves in them, and it turns a painful financial struggle into a meaningful chapter in their own hero's journey.
But after exploring all these powerful psychological forces, we kind of have to be honest with ourselves, right? Is holding on always a sign of strength? And that brings us to a really critical question. Is it genuine conviction, or is it actually fear?
This line, it just cuts right to the absolute heart of the matter. The action, holding on, is the same, but the motivation behind it can be a world apart. What looks like this unshakable belief on the outside can sometimes just be deep-seated fear on the inside.
And this is the shadow side of HODLing. It's the fear of regret, the fear of making a mistake permanent. For some people, holding on isn't about faith in the future at all. It's about being too afraid to face the reality of the present and admit that a decision they made in the past might have been wrong.
So if we zoom out for a second, if we look beyond the finances, the fear, and the memes, what does holding truly represent on a human level? Well, it seems to come down to a really powerful, basic instinct for hope. When you strip everything else away, that's what's left.
The act of HODLing is really an exercise in faith. It's a bet placed not on a certain price, but on the very idea that a better, different future is possible, especially when there is absolutely no certainty.
And what is that faith in exactly? It's this incredibly stubborn belief that technology can actually rewrite the rules, that patience still has value in our world of instant gratification, and ultimately that if you just hold on long enough, the rest of the world will eventually catch up to what you believe. And that is what makes this whole thing so profoundly human. It's often totally irrational. It's emotional. It's beautifully, stubbornly hopeful. It's a perfect mirror of one of our deepest instincts, to hold on, to have hope, even when every logical part of our brain is screaming at us to let go. So the next time you see someone online talking about HODLing, remember this. They aren't just holding on to some digital code. They are holding on to a conviction. They're holding the belief that some things in this world, big ideas, ambitious dreams, maybe even revolutions, are truly worth waiting for. And that leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? When you really think about it, in our own lives, our careers, our relationships, aren't we all HODLing something? A hope, a dream, a belief in ourselves, just waiting for our moment to be vindicated?